Apple has revolutionized personal computing, music, the way we read newspapers, telephones, and if you're watching this on an Apple TV set, you may well be watching this show on that. What they haven't broken into is the big lucrative cable TV market. This is the News Hub. I'm Michael Casey. Welcome. The Apple TV set, the TV box, is breaking into, trying to break into the cable TV business. Shalini Ramachandran is here to tell us about a great story in the front page of the paper today. This is a big business for them. Can they get into it? The cable operators don't seem to be too keen on it, right?
Well, the thing is, so in the past, Apple has approached the cable operators, and from what we know, the cable operators haven't been too keen because they kind of see it as a Trojan horse, right? If you let Apple TV have all the set-top box live channels, and people get used to that sort of the cool interface, the fanboy culture of Apple.
Exactly.
I mean, is that something that's going to get in the way of my customer relationship if I'm a cable?
It's a difficult one. There's a picture of the box just we had up there for a moment. It's a classic, cool-looking little gadget, like all of the Apple gadgets are, and it strikes me as this is for them just a huge potential, big, prosperous thing to get into. I mean, if there's two things Americans seem to love, it's Apple gadgets and TV. It's a marriage made in heaven, right?
Right, and I mean, you'd think, but so, I mean, the problem with Apple TV right now that cable executives have said is that, you know, it's only reached a few people, and now we can rent a set-top box from a cable operator for $10 to $15 a month, but Apple TV could cost a lot of money. Who knows how much it could cost? Right. So, and I mean, there's the question, like how the wireless carriers, is that something that would be subsidized? We have no idea about those details right now.
Right. Yeah. Now, let's just look at it from the perspective of the cable companies. What is the big threat here for them, or what is the opportunity? How does it work out for them? Right.
Well, so basically, the set-top boxes have been a long grouse of the cable operators because it's cut into their free cash flow. It's a bunch of capital expenditure that they have to make to buy these set-top boxes and lease it out. Now, if a lot of people buy an Apple TV box, spend their own money to do that, and the cable operators will put live programming on that, then that's a way to that they can, you know, cut down that capital expenditure. However, there's downsides, right? There's, you know, Apple will have that customer experience. You know, I mean, they wonder whether it's going to be the same sort of marriage that AT&T would have had with an iPhone, and if that's smart.
Right, exactly. Now, what about, you know, from a user's perspective? I mean, what advantages are there to having an Apple set-top box rather than just using the ones that you can rent from your cable company? Right.
Well, right now, a lot of customers would say they're not big fans of their set-top boxes.
Right.
I mean, and a lot of people have legacy set-top boxes, which are old, and the guides that you would get on that, even if the cable operator has released newer boxes, you might still get not a very nice-looking guide because of the capability in your legacy set-top box. And that's something that's irked the cable operators, too, because they can't innovate as fast because there are all these legacy set-top boxes out there.
Right. Okay. Right. But with an Apple one, I could do, I can sync with other products. I can sort of search for Netflix movies and so forth.
Right. That could be the possibility. And to be fair, I mean, some of the cable operators have released sort of guides, like Comcast has an X1 guide that could link up with, you know, Netflix and other things. But Apple is a different beast, right? So we don't have too many details on what this could look like, but we know that they're talking about a set-top box with live TV over it, maybe perhaps other content too.
Right now, if a customer goes into an Apple retail store, you know, what are they going to be looking for? What are they being sold by people in terms of the opportunities in this product?
Well, so right now, the current Apple TV accesses iTunes and Netflix and some other programs, but it doesn't have access to that live TV programming or your on-demand content from your cable operator. It has no access to that. You might get some TV shows that some programmers have licensed to Apple to sell via iTunes or such.
Right, exactly. But ultimately, this is the holy grail in many respects for Apple, right? I mean, just talk a little bit, if you could, about just how important this massive industry is in terms of potential revenues.
Right. It's like an over $40 billion industry that the cable operators have been paying the media companies to have this exclusive access to content. You know, there's a number of distributors, but it's a small amount, and they have this access to the customer for live television. It's extremely lucrative, and if Apple were able to hitch up with the cable operator, they'd have access to 100 million homes that may want to buy an Apple TV and watch over Apple TV instead of, you know, the crappy set-top box they've had before.
All right. Well, a revolution is coming. Shalini, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it very much.